Hello, Green Spring. My name is Sue Franke. I am one of the resident services coordinators here at Green Spring, and I am here with Stephanie Rheinheimer, the resident services coordinator that's over in Town Center. And right now her office is in the medical center at Town Center while they finish the renovation over in the Town Center area, which has sort of been put on hold with everything that's going on right now. Welcome, Stephanie. Glad that you're here today.
Thanks, Sue.
And we're going to just talk about how you can help yourself in the apartment during this time of isolation and quarantine, just to keep your spirits up and to be able to stay connected. So we're going to talk about sort of four major tenets. One of them is how to keep structure within your day, the idea of doing the same thing. As human beings, we really do thrive on a schedule. And then also the feeling of being connected, how to keep yourself connected. The third tenet, keeping yourself engaged, movement, staying as active as you can while maintaining a quarantine, and then also practicing things that we feel competent at. So looking at our competencies and how we might be able to use them on a regular basis. So Stephanie, you want to talk a little bit about keeping structure or a schedule?
Yeah, no, as we were brainstorming for the show, we talked about how, this is unprecedented territory. A lot of change, a lot of uncertainty, and one thing that we can focus on is reminding ourselves that the bit of control we have is controlling ourselves. And so what that can look like, per the first category you mentioned, is just some structure and organization, and how some research has shown that just keeping a regular structure of your day-to-day can help you feel a little bit more grounded and stabilized. So waking up around the same time each day, maybe starting with a cup of coffee and breakfast.
And I think even just getting dressed.
Yep.
I mean, not to stay in your nightgown or your sleep clothes, but to purposefully get yourself dressed.
Absolutely, yep, to kind of keep some normalcy to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, not minimizing things that might seem basic. Getting dressed, maybe scheduling some exercise at the same time every day, eating your meals every day. So.
And I think that also gives you the feeling of something to look forward to as the day goes on. It gives the day something to look forward to as it goes on. I was reading something where somebody talked about, even in her small area, having stations. So having a station where you watch TV, having a station where you eat eat your meals, having a station where you talk to people. So even if they're just a chair apart, but feeling like you have different places that you do different things to give a different kind of structure to even the apartment.
Well, and I was reading, some people are making a joke of it, but writing down a schedule too for some people. Some people make a joke of, roll out of bed, put on clothes, but really, maybe even writing an agenda for yourself to keep you on track. Similar to the stations you're describing.
Yes,
so.
But I did read something from a businesswoman who was very busy before everything settled in, and she was saying this has actually given her more freedom, the fact that she doesn't have to keep that schedule.
True.
But I think it's just really an important piece. I know myself, when I have certain things that I'm looking to towards the day, it really makes the day go a lot smoother in that way.
No, absolutely. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a basic recommendation that we are reading in a lot of research that I think will be helpful for people.
And then talking about staying connected, I think we are so fortunate in that we have, this is the age of technology, and thinking about if this had happened 30 years ago, where we still had to pay big money to call long distance. I can remember my husband's mother, every time we would call, she would say, now we've got to hang up because this is costing us money. And even into the point where it didn't cost money anymore, she still had that idea that it costs money. But knowing it doesn't anymore. You can even call overseas and it doesn't cost any more money. So phone calls.
Yeah, I would say, we as the social worker resident services coordinator team are fortunate because we interact with residents residents often, so we hear their stories. And I just had a resident the other day share that she, in her lifetime, has lived in numerous countries and different places, and this pandemic has given her the opportunity with the free long-distance calling to talk to people from so many pieces and times of her life and have that connection, which is very cool.
Yes, and we have the time now to be able to do it. And for some, the telephone is the best connection, but then there are others that have other resources to stay connected with. The internet just has a multitude of different opportunities to learn new things, to be able to read about a lot of different activities that have gone on, research, all sorts of different things, and then all the new platforms that we have to be able to connect and see one another.
You know, the basic platforms you're mentioning, things like FaceTime, Zoom, or otherwise, are very neat. Something that my family actually discovered recently is an app. So if somebody has a smart device like an iPhone or an iPad or tablet, you can download an application called House Party, and it actually allows you to play interactive games with each other via the internet or just your technology, which has been very, very cool. It takes the conversation and even more to a game.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that, so that's something, yeah. But you hear stories of people sharing meals through Zoom, or
particularly with Easter,
FaceTime, yes, or playing games, you know, being able to do that. I know that my family over the Easter weekend did take time to do a couple of Zoom chats just to connect everybody together.
Yeah, no, it was my grandfather's birthday this past Saturday, and we successfully got them to use FaceTime to sing him happy birthday and chat with them. So I think it's a really neat opportunity. And I know that Green Spring, if we take it a little bit away from technology again, the resident council actually has this program going on. I'm blanking on the official name, but they have floor coordinators per hallway and have designated callers to maintain that socialization and connection with each other, just with a quick phone call to say, hey, how are you doing?
And I think that is so important too. And I'm glad that they were able to get that going. And thank you to all of the listeners that are making the calls. And I think that connection between residents is really important too. And I know we are here also as a support if any resident, any of our listeners are having challenges or really need just a little bit more in terms of talking with somebody about what's going on. And I know that the callers are reaching out with permission as well to do that.
No, that's a great reminder. I'm trying to reach out to residents and just, again, let them know that we are an available resource and absolutely an appropriate person to call if you have questions or concerns.
Yes, absolutely. And let me take the time then just to talk about the three of us.
Sure.
We have three resident services coordinators here at Green Spring. We are all master's level social workers, licensed clinical social workers, and we are here to be a support for residents and for families. And I think this time we are really able to just provide that listening ear if challenges arise, or to help with resources, or just what is going on here at Green Spring. So Sue Franke, my office is down here in Village Square. I'm down across from the Akatink room. It's sort of quiet down there right now because no activities are going on. My extension 604-4217, and I am the social worker for Hampton Place, Jackson Court, Connor Terrace, Forest View, and Maple Creek, floors G, T, 1, and 2. Those are all the smaller apartment buildings here at Green Spring, so that's why there are so many. We each have an equal caseload, an equal division of apartments. So Stephanie Rheinheimer.
Yeah, I'm in the town center area, so my 4 buildings are Parkview, Walden Court, Madison Green, and Grove Terrace. I actually have a direct line, so you can reach me at 703-923-4615. And as Sue mentioned earlier in the program, my physical office is temporarily in the medical center.
And then we have Elena Keitel. Her office is over in Hunter's Crossing, and she does have the 3rd floor of Maple Creek, along with Canterbury Square, Oak Hill, and Crestwood Court. And we are Elena and Stephanie are here Monday through Friday from about 8:30 to 4:30, 5 o'clock. My hours right now are going to be Tuesday through Saturday, and I'm here from about 8 to 4:30. So please reach out to us, and anybody on Saturday know that I am here, so you may reach out to me. And at the moment, the resident services coordinators are also answering the hotline for family members or others, caregivers, to come onto campus. So we will be talking with you or family members if they call, just to give thoughts in terms of other resources that we have, and then just to determine the needs.
Yep, so. Absolutely.
So let's go on and talk a little bit about movement, or keeping our bodies engaged.
Oh, yeah. I would think that category is almost even to the connection piece, just from the movement standpoint. I know Channel 6 is increasing their programs they're offering in terms of guided exercise or stretching, which people can tune into on Channel 6. And I just think overall staying active and moving as much as possible will help keep our sanity.
Yes, and even some of those ideas that we've had before all of this came about, in terms of in between television shows, to stand up if you can, or to move, walk around, commercials, wiggle your toes, stretch your legs, raise your arms up in the air. Just do certain things to help yourself move. I think even trying to do some of the seated yoga, the Tai Chi, any of the exercise programs that you might have thought in the past would be interesting to look at.
Now's
or
your
to
opportunity.
Pursue. Yeah. So to take advantage of some of those things.
Absolutely.
Channel 6, GSV-TV really has risen to that occasion and is providing those on a regular basis.
Sure.
So to take advantage of that. And then the fourth, sort of thinking about what we're good at, or maybe some of the things that we've thought that we wanted to do but haven't had the time, or just didn't know what to do. So looking at our competencies.
Yeah, no, I think this category can kind of blend with the engagement piece of, having a purpose. So doing something you're good at, maybe it's expanding on your cooking knowledge or a project, but then also, like you said, perhaps taking the opportunity to look for something that you've always wanted to do but haven't had the time to try. I know a lot of my friends or colleagues are trying to develop a new hobby or a new skill during this time of a wealth of time to do that.
And one of the things I've seen a number of different places is possibly thinking about journaling, to write things down, to write down your thoughts, and to just think about how your day is. Even though you feel like each day is the same, sometimes our thoughts are different.
Very true.
Or how we perceive the information that we're receiving could possibly be a way to just to develop something different for us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think the journaling piece would also have a component of helping with reducing anxiety and relaxation as you're processing thoughts and just getting it out. So sounds like a good idea.
And one of the things we both talked about is limiting how much you watch on TV. I know we can get consumed.
Sure.
And the television news stations now have it on 24 hours a day. You can listen, you can hear about it all the time. But the news it drags you down.
Yeah.
It isn't necessarily good news for the most part. So to limit that, listen to it, get the update for the day, then turn it off and do something else. Or if you continue watching TV, to watch something that might be a little bit more uplifting, a movie,
Absolutely.
a TV show that you've always wanted to watch.
Yeah, no, my roommate and I in particular talked about that. She was watching a lot and getting overwhelmed, and just reminding ourselves, stay educated, know what's going on, but also understand what the boundaries are and do exactly what you just described.
Yeah, yeah. And knowing that we as humans, we really want to know that our lives are predictable and that we can trust in what's going on. And I think that's the challenge for us right now is that things are so unpredictable.
Sure.
And we have no trust necessarily in what is going on.
Sure.
So what you had said earlier, Stephanie, about we can only control ourselves. And so looking to ourselves for that predictability
Sure.
and for that trust, and then also family members that we have or friends to be able to connect with for that piece of what we really strive to keep us on an even keel.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think it's important just to look at all those different pieces, and if you feel that you're having a day where you're not quite sure how things are going, please reach out, whether it be to one of your social workers, one of the resident services coordinators, or to reach out to family. I think that's an important piece also. And I think both Stephanie and I, we too are trying to make our way through all of this. My work schedule has changed, but yet weekends aren't much different than weekdays right now. And so how to work with families, I know with my grandchildren, we have been doing sort of drive-bys. We'll go and take the car and then stand at the car where the grandkids are in the carport or by the house, and we sort of talk remotely. We did that over Easter. My husband and I went to each of my children's house that live in the area, and we hid the plastic Easter eggs, which my husband had filled with candy and a little bit of money, and we hid them while the kids were still inside, and then called and said, why don't you have the kids come out? There's some Easter eggs out there.
Oh,
and just then watch them from afar.
Oh, that's awesome.
Find the plastic eggs over the course of time, just squeal at the delight of having something within their day too, because the kids are struggling.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're struggling similarly to all of us, not being able to connect with friends, not being able to, we are social beings, and if you can think of a child and that delight in just playing with your friends side by side and doing things together. So it's that struggle in all of the generations and how we work through this.
Yeah. Well, very cool that you guys were able to be creative. That sounds awesome.
Yes, yep. My one granddaughter had, over the course of the year, just reminded me that my husband and I enjoy doing that, and so she had said, are you going to be able to do that for Easter? So it was really a trick to figure out how to make that happen.
I see. It sounds like it was not an option for that not to happen.
But yet just trying to, with all of the social distancing that we're doing, to figure that out.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, and knowing my mom living here at Green Spring also, we have been connecting with her. We got her hooked up to Zoom at the very onset of this so that she could also participate. She doesn't have FaceTime.
Right.
So just helping her in that way too, and knowing that us as family members can connect our loved ones together.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. How are you connecting with your parents then?
We've done a couple drive-bys as well. My mother's birthday was recently as well. So we sanitized everything, and we had baked her a couple cupcakes, so dropped them off on the door and then sang happy birthday to her from the car. And then we kind of had, even before all this, had a standing Sunday Skype family meeting because my sister does not live nearby. So we've continued that and increased the frequency of checking in with each other via video call. So if you have the ability to use technology, that's really been what we've been relying on.
Yes.
And I just know most people have used it similarly. So
yes. And I am thankful to all of the staff here at Green Spring that's really risen above and beyond to deliver mail, to deliver meals, to deliver packages, just the way we have transformed things to be able to help make it so that residents don't have to come out and be in those social situations. It's been...
Well, and to acknowledge too the patience and flexibility of our residents as well, and how the community from their side have really worked with us to try and make sure new systems are working. So just thankfulness all all around, I think, for
yes,
sure.
Yes, and I know we as staff too are connecting with different staff than we've ever
Yeah.
connected with before, because dining services is calling us about different issues, and then we have the concierge service that's out in the main lobby areas that are providing those packages, and then trying to come up with creative ways to manage certain challenges that come up. So a package or medication that needs to get delivered, and how do we make that work so there doesn't have to be
a delay or anything.
the face-to-face between people. So yeah, just really trying to think outside the box, that creative thinking.
Yes, definitely challenging our critical thinking skills.
Definitely. Well, it's been wonderful, and I'm glad that we were able to help listeners. But again, please give us a call if difficulties should arise. Let us know what's going on. We are here, and we are here for you.
Yeah.
So.
Good reminder. Thanks,
Yes.
Sue.